Welcome back to our weekly coach show with Chuck Clark. Actually, not our welcome back, but our first show of the season, beginning basketball season here. Coach Clark, welcome to our first program of the year. We're planning on doing this once a week and have a player or two come in from time to time, maybe even coach there. But I want to start off with talking about people probably know you, but your background, you run black and gold. Your blood runs deep. You played here, you've coached here, you've had relatives here. Just give us a quick recap of what Bradley has meant to you and your playing days and so forth.
Let's see. I graduated in '77, and then I came back when I finished at Lee and coached with Stevie Williams for 1 year when David Landreth and Jim Asman and Ray Cox and all those guys. We went to the state tournament that year and got beat on a three-point bomb from half court that you could tell that it was going in, but it backed off. It hit hard off the rim, and it's just one of those things. It's still sickening today to get beat at the state tournament on a shot like that. But and then went into teaching, or went into work with my dad, but then felt the calling to get back into teaching and coaching. The Lord just kind of said, it's time to go and do what I want you
Work
to
with
do
young
now.
guys.
And so I turned around and started out with Kent, and
pretty good run there.
good run with him. And then, but of course my brothers all went here. Pokey played basketball. I've had nephews, whether it's Daniel, Saylor, Miller played for a while, and so it's been, Bradley Central High School is a Clark family tradition, really. So I'm very, very proud of that.
Well, it is for a lot of people there, whether they played sports or what. My family, started with my mother, fourth generation, I guess now, it goes back into Bradley Central High School. I also like to talk about up front your assistants this year. I don't think you've changed any assistants there, but tell us who's going to help you out this year.
Well, we got Kobe Dills that's working with the freshman team. He does a really nice job. In fact, he and Drew handle all of our, getting the word out with Instagram and Twitter and all of that. They're great on that because I'm not. And so you surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are. And so I've kind of done that. But Drew German is my assistant coach, and he works with JV and the varsity. And so, we've got a nice little combination working here. And, it's fun. Kobe is learning. He's still learning basketball. He's a student of the game. And so that's what I like about him. He didn't play basketball here. He was a football, baseball guy. But he was down with Coach Nipper and received good teaching there from Andrew, which when he was already up here, so we kind of took him in. But he's a student of the game. And then Coach German just keeps me in line and pulls back on my pant leg if I get too far out, or every now and then he'll grab me by the belt and yank me back.
So like you were doing with Kent.
Yeah, I tried with Kent. If I pulled too hard on him, he was a lot lighter than I am. I could bring him back to the bench really quick if I wanted to, but Drew has to really, since COVID, I put on a few more pounds. He's going to have to really tug to get me.
Well, I hate to even bring COVID up, but since you mentioned that, how's that affected you in preparations? I know last March we shut down there, and virtually nothing can be done up until a point in July, I guess, and things really changed. But it's that same for everybody, so it's not like we're the only one,
Yeah, I look at it that these guys came back energized. That's what I'm going to take from it. You can look at the bad and everything that comes upon us, but I'm going to study on the good, and they came energized to play and practice even, and to hit the weight room and get back into school. And I mean, attitude is everything. Right. And these guys have shown a great attitude, and their character was always good, but didn't know what kind of attitude they were going to have when they came back.
They were jumping at the bit. I mean, everybody's tired and want to get out and do something.
I just said to a guy, or we were talking about it, you either start living or you start dying with this stuff. And so I'm glad that the powers to be here at Bradley Central and our central office is allowing us to come to school and get the kids out, and because they need the social activity, even though we're trying to keep them spaced apart, but I need it. Everybody needs it. We don't need to be cooped up, and that's not good for anybody.
No, it's not. Right now, we're still in the football playoffs, and how does the football playoffs affect you? I know we talked earlier. You got quite a few guys. How big a team is your whole basketball squad, and how many are involved directly or indirectly with football right now?
Well, we've got 28 players, and so and 13 are in football.
13 of them.
13. Actually, we're practicing with 14 guys. I've got one of our juniors, Josh Wyckoff, is in a boot where he was playing with his brothers and had a high ankle sprain. So he's going to be out for another 2 weeks with that. But, yeah, I mean, we're practicing with 14 guys, and 4 or 5 are freshmen, another 3 or 4 sophomores.
But in a sense, too, though, that gives them an opportunity to say, hey, Coach, here's what I can do. I can step up here, and when you need me, holler for me,
It really does. I use the example of Mason, his freshman year, and Tucker Green. They both started, I guess, our first couple 3 games, and they were a contributing factor for the whole year. Mason, I think, started the whole year basically for us.
I think he did.
Because, I mean, he ended up the first game we played at William Blunt, he had 20-something.
24 points, I believe.
Yeah, you're right there. And so it's he's done really good with that part of it, explaining to these freshmen what they have to do. He's been a great leader for us. And Tucker stepped right back in and doing what he's supposed to do with these guys. And so, yeah, he's explained to them that you got to get your grades and do what you're supposed to do here in school, and then bust your tail, because you're going to get an opportunity. And if they do well, then I've got to keep them around.
Yeah,
it's just common sense.
Well, players like Mason Rothwell, we've watched him, as you say, start for 4 years, and he's an example of how you would like all the players to be on the court and off the court, because he is a great example and the epitome of what a Bradley student, whether it's an athlete or just a student, should be, and the way they act out in the community, and he just does things the right way.
Well, I got 4 great seniors, and Isaac Smith, he's a jewel, guy. And very involved in FCA. He and Mason, and Cole Haney's another one that's involved with them in FCA, and then Tucker Green's the other one. But all of those guys show great leadership, and we've got Cole, who's trying to get into the academies, whether it be Naval or Air Force, and so he's a pretty smart kid. He's doing the right thing. He's wanting to give back to our nation, which you got to admire a kid like that.
Oh yeah.
And then between Tucker was in Chicago at part of the summer, and he said, "No, I'm a Bradley Bear, Dad," and so. He talked Dad in, and he's staying with his grandmother, and so that was a big boost for me, because that's Tucker's. He's been a 4-year player for us, and so and then Isaac, and he's just great attitude, great kid. He helps the kids so much, and the leadership part. I turn them if Coach Sturman's not around, I just turn it over to those guys and just show them the offense. I'll go and teach them, because sometimes the kids teach better than we can, or they're listening better to their players.
They get tired of hearing your voice all the time.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Well, you mentioned those 4 seniors. I know you're probably getting close to naming your starters. You don't play till Thursday, the 17th, or the 19th, I guess it would be, against Farragut in the Hall of Champions game there. Are you pretty much set with your starting line for who you think they'll be? I mean, no, not.
We have guys step up every day. Savoy Humes is a junior, and he was on the borderline of cut or not to cut, and he hit a little growth spurt, and he's been working extremely hard. And so and he had a great practice the other day. And so he may be one of those guys that step in and help. Let's see, juniors that are out there, Brandon Chabrera. He's a gym rat. And so.
You got to like that.
Oh yeah, love him. I mean, he's worked on his shot, and that's going to be the change of Bradley basketball. We're gonna push the ball up, and we're going to take some threes, probably like we've never done it before. I mean, I told them if they don't shoot about 20 to 25 threes this year, there's something wrong, because I've got a crew of guys that have the green light. And so we're going to push the ball up, and when we have a chance, we're going to hit a couple of our looks, and then next thing you know, we'll be looking at the three ball.
What kind of defense you going to play? You going to play pressure,
man.
Full court?
Yeah.
Man to man?
Yeah, we're going to stay the same way that we've always been. We're not going to be quite as quick, but with some of these freshmen that are around, they're really quick, and they're fast. And so that's what you remember a few years ago. I had what was it? I call them kamikaze squad.
Yeah.
To go in and just raise holy Cain there for a minute at the end of each quarter and press the daylights out of people. And I may do that again if these freshmen continue to get better.
Well, when you get your football players back, will you be? I know you'll be a lot deeper, but will you play a deep bench? You going to try to go with your basic starting lineup, or just depends on the flow of the game, I guess?
Every game has a different personality, and so we will probably we're going to go more up tempo, really,
So we better be deep then.
Yeah, and actually, when we were doing that yesterday, I stopped for just a minute to explain to the guys, how do you feel right now? And they're all sucking wind real bad.
They're gassed, huh?
Guess what? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have about that 4.5 minute mark. We're going to have another crew ready to come in. Now, it may not be 5 on coming in, but we'll probably rotate 3 and then have 2 more ready, and then get to that 5. And we're going to push it up tempo. And so I think that I showed my wife our practice last night, and she said they better learn to shoot better. But
even the wife knows you got to have some shooters, huh?
Yeah, and I said, well, this is after 2 hours of practice, babe. Their legs are shot right now, and so, but she, corrective criticism from my wife.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, that's okay. Are there any incoming freshmen? How many freshmen do you have on the team this year? How many carrying?
Well, we got 12 that are coming in.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of freshmen, and 8 are in football. So the Wilson kid and Keith and some of those guys that are contributing on for our Bears, and we'll be out there busting it Friday night against the Rebels. Mm-hmm. It'll be a while before they will get their basketball legs. But yeah, we've got a number of kids. We've got the 4 that we have with us that are practicing what basically varsity practice is V. Reed, who came from Lake Forest.
I saw him play a lot.
Jarius Rogers, who's another one. Jeremy used to be the track coach.
Right.
Coach Cotton up here.
Right.
And let's see, who's the other one? Jackson Airy, who was at Truett as a 7th grader, and he went someplace else, and he's came back home. But long kid, he's about 6'5" and long arms, and a good-looking kid. And let's see, who's my last one? I'm missing. Demarius Ballard, another Lake Forest.
Yeah, I
young
saw
man.
him play last year. Yeah.
And so, my wife
some good freshmen there.
Yeah, my wife even noticed on a couple of things. And he said, "Who was that kid there?" Because he made a couple of passes, a smooth move, and the next thing you know, he's dumping it down. I said, "Well, that's a freshman. He's pretty good."
Well, I guess one thing that helps your program too is you have Andrew Nipper at Lake Forest. And he's a former Bear, and he sits on the bench with you a lot during your games too.
Yeah, Andrew he helps out so much. I mean, and he teaches those guys the Bradley way, and you know, and that's so important. And he's a special young man, you know, to me especially.
He's a super guy. Yeah.
I can remember sitting down with him at Truett then as a 7th grader and explaining to him that, hey, you can sign a scholarship somewhere, but you have to get your mind right on it. And his mother didn't like me too much because I pushed him really, really hard. And when I came to Bradley, he came up here too. And still I pushed him. But he signed a scholarship, graduated, played basketball 4 years, and he came back, and now he's coaching. Couldn't be more proud of an individual than Andrew. Well, he's like a son to me.
He's doing quite well down there. I watched him just last night. But let's take a short break here, and we'll come back. We'll talk about this upcoming season schedule here on our first show of the year with Coach Chuck Clark, head of the Bradley Central Bears, in his 7th year, coming up in his 8th year, actually, starting this year. Yes. We'll be back in just one moment.
Is that right?
One thing to love about the Tennessee Valley is Bradley Central Show Choir, Vocal Motion. The other thing to love is the local Geico office on Lee Highway.
You could save a lot. Oh, you can save a lot. Oh, you can save a lot. But how do you know?
Unless you call 894-2600. Got a car? Got a boat? Got a home?
Get a quote.
Back here with Coach Chuck Clark on the Chuck Clark, the first Chuck Clark show of the year. We'll have these just about every week here on the Bear Network, BCHS.TV. And you'll see these on Facebook and YouTube as well. Coach, your schedule this year, was it a challenge? I mean, I talked to Coach Reuter, and man, it was just a booger to try to put together a schedule that could accommodate you and the opponents too. And was it tough for you as it was for him?
It's terrible. I mean, we had trips that we were going to set up and play, you know, spend a night and have 2 games set up, and especially in Middle Tennessee at Murfreesboro. And they, when they took away us spending the night and just making a day trip out of it, that we had to do a lot of finagling, I guess would be the right word, and you know, Murfreesboro was the same way. Middle Tennessee was, and so they were not going to allow anybody to come in. In fact, they're not playing games with anybody outside their district.
In Murfreesboro.
In Murfreesboro, after Christmas, just in case something were to come in, and they don't. They're thinking ahead, which is good. Mm-hmm. But we had to change up our schedule a lot because of that. So,
Well, you're going back to Maryville, you know, you're going to have a couple of games up there on the same, Clinton and Maryville. I think we played Clinton way back under Ken. I don't remember if we played them under you or not.
no, we tried to schedule them a few years ago, and just couldn't make the dates work. The coach up there is a pretty good old boy, and he and Kent had a good relationship, and Kent actually coached against his dad some too, and that was back when Clinton, you know, we played them in the state tournament.
I remember that very well.
And they had some big old strong horses.
Yeah, huge.
And of course, we had a few, Josh here and Zach and Stacy.
When the game Pickle went off on Clinton over and hit all the threes, that first quarter was at Greenville.
I think that was Greenville.
I think it was Greenville, yeah.
Yeah, Clinton was that year that
Big old.
had some big old boys, and then we turned around, and I think we played Oak Ridge too.
Yeah. Well, also this year we're going to see Warren County, which is a team we've not seen that I can recall, not in the regular season in a while, and we've got them here and over there too, I believe, haven't we?
Yeah, that's just
the boys'
strictly
game.
the boys' game, and you know, their coach and I have talked a lot. You know, we share scouting reports from the last few years, and then we played them a number of years ago, first round of the region, and you know, he's just a really nice guy, and so he wanted to play, and we are surrounded in this area with, and that other region too, with a bunch of really good coaches, and you know, if we can always find something to play, then we're going to, and I get along well with a lot of the coaches around, so we try to work things out.
Are you looking, is your schedule in your mind complete? Are you looking to add another game or so? Or
No, I think I'm full. Because, let's see, I'm trying to think. We had to drop Siegel, so I may have one game, but that was one of the things that Murfreesboro did when they took away and made them play all their out-of-state or out-of-county games.
Do you see
Christmas.
us doing something similar to Murfreesboro, like after Christmas, playing only district games? And we don't, mostly they are district games. We've got Warren County and
Meggs, I think.
Meggs, yeah. And then that's about it outside our district. So basically we are playing.
Yeah, that's the only two. And, you know, Meggs County's, I don't see how that makes up a whole lot of difference myself, but I guess they could bring it in. But, you know, I'm just going to leave it kind of at that right there. I could say something else, but I won't.
We don't want to go there, probably.
No.
But, and we had media day last week. Who do you see in our district is going to be your most toughest competition, I guess? And also, I'd like to ask about District 6, which is our region there. Who over there? I mean, I know you guys talking. You didn't get to play the summer games, summer leagues, and things that you normally do where you can really test yourself against outside competition. Matter of fact, you're not even allowed to scrimmage anybody right now. You're playing your own self within your own team right now, but that's just what everybody's doing the same thing. But
yeah.
What's the word on the street? You know, who's going to be tough out of District 6 for our region?
District 6, well,
and then we'll talk about District 5.
Warren County, they've got everybody back. Well, they lost one guy, but you know, on the pecking order, I don't think he was their top 3 or 4.
And you've got them twice this year.
Got them twice, and so that's why that coach called them one to play. But that, you know what? Scared dog can't hunt.
That's
right.
right.
So we enjoy the competition. They're going to be really good. White County is going to have they just lost a couple of 3 guys, but that wasn't their main horse. And so Slatton, he just signed with Ole Miss, and so he's back and he's going to be ready to play. They're going to be really nice. Cookeville, I don't think that they lost a whole lot either. And man, I know Stone. It's not
sounding good here.
I know Stone didn't lose a whole lot. So Caps told me that they were fairly young, and so they're going to be, those 4 teams are going to be really strong. Now Ray County, I don't know what they're going to. I know their coach left and went to McMinn Central, so I don't know what they're going to.
I forgot about Doug Armstrong stepping down after 50 years or so, it seems like over there. But
Well, we're not going to say that because I played against Doug, and he's at Central, and I was at Bradley. So
he was a good guy and had some great teams there. Okay, let's look closer at home. Our District 5, you know, how do you set stacking? Cleveland won it last year, won the regular season, and we knocked them off, upset them in the district championship in the tournament. But
you know,
they lost to Kobe Wood. That's a big loss.
That's huge for them, you know, and that they've got a couple of guys that McGowan and Hurst. You know, they've played a lot of basketball, so they're going to step in to that role and do a really nice job for them. I know they've got the Dale kid that will be back, and then they've got some of the younger kids that I'm sure have grown and matured. So they're going to they were picked number one, and in East Hamilton, which didn't really lose a whole lot. They had a couple of guards that were pretty good, and they're going to be a really nice team. They're going to be kind of big too. They're going to have some size. And
this will be their last year in our region, district,
right,
because they're reconfiguring, TWSAA is reconfiguring. We'll be in what they call 4A beginning next school year, and East Hamilton will be in 3A, so we'll lose them in the district. But how about McMinn County, Walker Valley? What do you see out of those guys?
McMinn County's going to have a really, really nice team. They've got their two guards coming back that were, you know, got the little jitterbug that can get into the paint, and I know he starts to dish. And then they got some bigger kids that were growing and maturing and getting better. They really didn't lose anybody. I think they lost one player. So.
Ed Clendenin is a pretty good coach too.
Ed is a very nice coach. I love Ed to death. He's an excellent guy, and he's a class act. Walker Valley, you know, I think they lost a number of players.
Yeah, I think it had 7 seniors, if I remember.
Right, and so, but they've got a couple of people coming back that were pretty good for that came in and started a little bit, but they're kind of like we are right now, you know. You know, losing the guys that we did, we're kind of refinding ourselves.
And he's got guys in football too, I'm sure, right now.
I don't know if Will does. I haven't talked to him lately since last week.
Yeah.
He probably does. He's probably like us. We share, and you have to do that. And you know, my philosophy has always been you play as many sports as you can until the coach comes to you and says, you're getting passed up, so you need to focus on those others.
Yeah.
And so, but you play as much because, I mean, realistically, 2% of the people sign scholarships to go on and play at the next level, and 2% is 2%, and you can't change that. So some of these guys will go on and play, some of them won't. And they've got to have fun in their high school experience. They've got to love, you know, hopefully they love Bradley Central, and that love will carry them on through on that way.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting year. I think I'm really looking forward to it, and it's all going to start next week. You'll play on Thursday night as you host Farragut, and Farragut's, you know, we play them in every other sport, and basketball is one of them. And what do you see? I know you probably got a preliminary look at them at least. They may have, well, they're out of football now, so they'll have them back. But
well, no, I was sitting. My wife and I walked into the stadium the other night, and John was right there, and so we sat and talked the first quarter, kind of watching the football game. And,
yeah.
And you know how he's a bass fisherman. He's telling me all of the woes and stuff to his team and actually he didn't have any players playing football.
Oh, okay.
And so, but he lost a few kids, but you know, it's a rebuilding year and all of this stuff, and
you take it with a grain of salt.
I take it just exactly for what it's worth. John's a really, really good guy, you know, and like I say, the people we play, I get along with so well. I mean, they're good folks, and John. He really is. He's a nice.
That makes
nice
coaching
guy.
a lot more fun when you can all get along and share things, you know. And in this day and world we live in, there's no secret about what you're going to do and what the other team's going to do. It's just a matter of who can execute.
Let's get on huddle, and next thing you know, you can break everything down.
Yep.
Yeah, we can battle on the court at 84, 94 feet, but after the game, most of the guys that we play, man, we can shake hands and have a good time and laugh about it, and not take everything so, out of context from what some of our fans would like for us to do. Contrary to belief, I don't dislike some of our cohorts over there on north of us. I can get along with everybody, and they're good people.
Yeah.
So.
No need not to get along with them, but
Oh yeah.
It's going to be an exciting year, as I said. It opens next Thursday. It'll be the 19th here with Farragut. 6 o'clock girls, 7:30 boys game. Big doubleheader there. And then we'll just take it day at a time, game at a time, and go on from there. But, Coach, we want to thank you for being here today. Chuck Clark, the head coach, in his 8th year as head coach of the Bradley Central.
Gary, you forgot some of my football players that's going to be coming and playing for me now.
Yeah?
We got the big Rat-tastic that's playing.
The Rat-tat?
Rat-tastic, that's what I've been.
Who do you refer to there?
Carter Howard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's going to be one of my guys coming back.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
We got Aiden McClary coming, and that's going to come back and play some this year. He worked out some with us over the summer, and he wanted to come back. And you know what? Hey, he's an outstanding young man.
Yes, he is.
I've always got a place for people like that. So those are 2 guys that are going to play into our scheme of things. Really nice.
Look forward to having both back. Carter's having a good year, and what you say about Aiden, man, he's stepped in as a quarterback.
He's done an
first game of the
unbelievable
year,
job.
and just like it's a natural thing for him, and he's leading us to the second round of the playoffs. Hopefully, even deeper we'll play there.
I expect something really fun to happen next week or this Friday.
Well, we hope it happens in a fun way for the Bears, and we'll move on to round 3. But we got to get Maryville first in football. But Coach, it's always good talking with you. Really enjoy watching the Bears and Bearettes in basketball over here in Jim Smead Arena, and looks like you got a tough schedule coming up. Interesting schedule that we've a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. But we'll all wrap it up. It seems like it takes forever to get here. It's just like with football. And then, boy, once it gets here, you blink your eye and it's Christmas, and then the next thing you know, it's postseason and
tournament
time, and which is a special time of year for all of us involved in this sport. But I know it is for you coaches. It's just one of those gut-wrenching times that everything's on the line sometimes. But we look forward to having these weekly interviews with you. And we'll have a player or 2 in with you, maybe a couple of your coaches from time to time. Just sit in and tell us about what's going on in the world of Bradley Bear basketball.
That'll be great. I want these guys to see the young men that I'm around, and
You got some good ones.
They're class acts.
They sure are. They rep the
young
school.
men of character.
They rep the school very well, and I think it starts at the top with you and your staff. With Drew and Kobe there, 2 other fine men that lead our guys. If I had a son playing basketball, I'd love to have him playing on your team there. But until next time, we're going to wrap it up. And thanks again to Coach Chuck Clark here on the Bear Network for our weekly show here. Until then, we'll say God bless and go Bears.